We're members of the Southwark Service User and Carer Advisory Group, SUCAG for short.
We all have lived experience that includes experience of using mental health services in Southwark, experience of caring for someone using those services, or experience of being both a service user and a carer.
We've made a series of films to share what it's like being part of the SUCAG and how we're helping others,
ourselves, SLAM, and the NHS. Go ahead when you're ready.
Okay, so one thing I like about the SUCAG, as I said, is the fact that it brings out the best in me in some ways. So we have a saying at Jamaicanism called "One are dead, Nakali Duppy." In other words, if you're not dead, you're not a ghost. So never underestimate the resilience, the bounce back ability of someone, even though they're at their lowest ebb, even though they may appear vulnerable and weak and helpless. They're still a person and they can still find it within themselves to bounce back. So one are dead, Nakali Duppy. So really, that's what I like about the SUCAG, because it brings out qualities in me which allow me to be my best. Another thing which I like about the SUCAG is that I can make a difference just being myself, talking about my experiences, talking about the tactics I use to overcome my problems, overcome loneliness, boredom, isolation, sort of things like that. Have a focus in life, have something to do, have something positive to do, have something where I can make a difference, or a raison d'etre, a reason for waking up in the morning. So, it's giving me purpose. It's giving me purpose. It's giving me something to shape my future with. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be able to make a difference.
Fantastic. Can I ask you a couple of questions about it?
Yes.
So, first question was, how did you get to the SUCAG group? How did your involvement start?
So I got to the SUCAG through volunteering initially. I was a volunteer at SLAM first. Then I became part of the involvement register after a few years, and then of volunteering, and then I joined the involvement register. And then it just so happens that one of the first groups I joined was the psychosis CAG group, clinical advisory group, back in about 2-3 years ago. But there was a different structure then. So that ended and it morphed into SUCAG. So that's how I was drafted into SUCAG, because I had come from the psychosis advisory group.
So what kind of projects have you been involved in, and what has that entailed?
So the projects I've been involved in have been quality improvement, for example, where we talk about how best to use service users to help improve or shape services in SLAM. So, oftentimes that involves, going onto the wards or asking questions of staff and service users, so we can develop best practice. What else? We help organize and shape services in that, we want to be responsive for the carers as well as service users. So we try to meet their needs as best we can by, of course, asking questions, doing surveys, finding out what service users want, really.
And do you know what has changed because of your involvement in these projects? any outcomes from those?
Not directly, but I know it's made a difference because one of the things which I know has made a difference is that more service users are benefiting from our input, and staff are being enlightened. And every time I get feedback as to how staff, when I speak or when we interface with the staff, every time I get feedback from them, it's always been positive. It's always been overwhelmingly beneficial for them and for us. So we learn from each other.
That's fantastic. And just to round things up, a couple of things in one question. What are the highlights? You've sort of covered some of those. What are the highlights and what are the challenges have been in the SUCAG for you? So highlights and challenges.
So the highlights would include, seeing the feedback from the staff. As I said, they when we make our contribution, they appreciate that we're really making a difference in how they see service users and how they see our roles. Because we as usually they see us as victims and not empowered people. So so that's a major difference, and I feel proud to be part of that. So that's one highlight. I like the fact that I'm making a difference. That's another thing. That's another highlight. The challenges I'd say are, is that there are thousands of staff on the SLAM register. Can we reach to every single one of them? Can we help influence them? I don't know, but I think we can try, and I hope we can.